Hi there, and welcome to my masterclass of my song Happy With You. So for the first part, we will start with the breakdown. I will guys let you hear how it sounds, so you still remember how it sounds.
About you makes me happy, not just because you look like candy. And I can't believe you're mine, loving you on the beach.
Alright, so first of all, I will explain what I did to the vocal part. So the vocals are coming from Errol As, and he actually did an awesome job, already processed it for me, but I did my extra sauce on it. So this is how I process the vocals.
You thinking about you makes me happy.
Alright, all dry, he delivered them this way to me.
You thinking about you makes me happy, not just.
So as you can hear, they're already pretty clean, so big shout out to him for already cleaning that up. However, I just wanted to give it a little bit more of my touch, so that's why I process it my way. Um, if you can see, around 212 hertz, you can see a little bit of his male vocal frequency, so I just deducted that a bit. Another EQ just to tip off the low ends a bit and just give the highs a bit of a boost. Just OTT to multiband compressor, glue for a little bit of compression, another fab filter to cut more of the low ends, a de-esser. Really like this de-esser, it's from Ozone if I'm not wrong. And it's very smooth and soft, which I really like. So it keeps the high end of the vocal, but still keeps the DS away. And then PweakTech, it's from the Waves bundle. I really like this plugin. I just boosted up the highs a bit, just to give that little extra crisp sound in the vocal itself. So that's how I processed the vocal. So here's the end result.
You thinking about you makes me happy, not just because you look like candy. And I can't believe.
Okay, so besides the vocal, I also have more elements. For example, break piano. Just very simple from Nexus. Just the Nexus grand piano, really good piano, and I processed it in the following way. I just added an EQ, cut it off the low ends. I did an automation filter during the breakdown to make it open and close again. Valhalla vintage verb just for reverb, nothing special. I really do like this plugin Valhalla because you can control everything beside it. Also the EQ, I always set my low cut around 720. This means that the reverb won't notice any bad or low frequencies, because when you have reverb in your lowest frequencies, it will make your mix pretty muddy. I also had an Pro Q2 on it because I found some very harsh frequencies, so I just cut it the ones I think which were needed. And then of course just a glue just to compress it a bit, and that's all. A break guitar ambience. It's also Nexus if I'm not wrong. Yes, just a big Western guitar but a lot of effects on it, so the normal without any effects sounds like this. And I process it like this. Just an EQ once again. After that we have reverb, a flanger. After that we just have a filter to cut the high frequencies even more. Then some resonance frequencies which I cut out. And once again, some mid EQ, in phase stereo, just to, this is a in phase delay, so I put the sound in 2 channels actually. So the left side of the delay is going by -9 milliseconds, and the right process part is going to be 7 milliseconds. So, which means that the sound is kind of delayed, but in a stereo way. It's a very cool trick when you have like ambient sound. Even more EQ, and then a glue once again to glue it all together. I also have a breakpad high to fill up the atmosphere. So just a little bit of EQ, once again taking the high frequencies a little bit, the peaking or resonance ones. After that, there is a very important part, which are drums and low ends. I really like to have, during my breakdown, a really hard feeling and heartwarming break bass. That's why always put your bass lines below 150 Hz in mono. This will make your mix not that muddy. It's a spiral one. Alright, we continue. Then we just have some samples, which I use, not very special. Also a special break guitar, not very special. Then we have some reverse synths. Impacts. Breakdown lifter. Alright, and if I go up once again, then we see that we have a break piano, which if you can hear quite well coming up right now. Oh, wrong button. Oh my god, it does it every time when my CPU crashes. Anyway, let's continue. So the break piano. This is a layer of contact, and it's processed the same way as the other break piano. It just gives that little bit of extra feeling to the break. Let me just turn on my master. Right, now we actually came to the build-up. So the build-up is actually just more elements of the break, but with some, I introduced the lead actually. So this is the main lead of the drop. So what I did is, so I have my layers of the drop, and I only took 4 of them out of it to just introduce it during the build-up. This will make sure that people are might expect what will happen during the drop. So this makes it interesting for listeners as well. Just a normal violin, nothing very special. And they're all pretty in the same channel, so they are also filtered, as you can hear. And I always like to use an endless smile as well in my build-up to create that extra impact, as well as my volume master always goes 5% down right before the drop, so it gives that little bit more punch when the drop hits. So you can see the filter, the master filter of my leads. And of course I have some reverb just to make it even more hyped, then some risers of course. these are all elements to, for example, the risers and the drum hits. These are all elements to creating a build-up with a lot of tension and with a lot of energy, which is important in progressive house because you really want to have the people jump and being excited about your drop. Also the vocals, I asked Ariel to record some nice ad-libs for the build-up, and he sent me some really cool ones. So don't be scared to ask your vocalist to do something extra. If you have a vocalist which has made a vocal for your song, just ask him, hey, can you make some ad-libs or something like that, just to give that. You never know, you never know which kind of part in the vocal you can use later on. So that's why it's very important to always ask as many parts of the vocal as well as you can. Alright, then once we turn it into the drop, I have several parts. I will discuss the drop part by part. Right, let's go for the leads first. So my drop leads are a combination of different plugins. I'm not going to go in depth with my leads because they are kind of secret, but I will go through the processing of them, so which make it very interesting for you, I think. So I have the leads all separated, linked to my master, to my mixes, sorry. Then I have linked them to my master bus, master leads. So what I did right here is I added Destructor. It's a new plugin from FL Studio itself, and I really like that one. It's just a standard version, and I really like the Harmor Classic. I will just prefer that, or the Fast Dist. Also works very nice. But just I turned down the preamp a little bit to have that extra sauce. Let me show you what I did, or how it sounds with and without. Then a Saturn to just open up the mid and high frequencies, just by 4.5. It's the preset basic saturator, nothing special. Then this reverb is linked, as you can see, that was the wet function or automation clip, which I showed you here. Right here. So this is the reverb master, which is linked to my leads. Right, let me go back. Right here. So, and of course we have Pro Q3. I really like Pro Q3 because you have also compression in it and make it dynamic. Then a Fruity filter, more reverb. This is the standard reverb on the lead, so this reverb always stays on. And then of course kickstart, always use this kind of preset, made my works pretty fine in my case, so that's why I use it. Alright, so that's not everything for the lead. I also included some break leads, just to support the other leads, and these are all also linked to the same bus. So I have full control of the reverb and of the sidechain. So I always like to have full control over the leads and effects on that. So these are the full leads. And let me mute the parts so you can hear it carefully how the full leads sound together. And the vocalist still on. Yeah, here we go. After that we have the chords. I just bounced the chords because my CPU is about to die, I'm afraid. So these are all pianos kind of sounds and some synths, nothing too special. Once again, I linked them all to a separate bus, and as you can see I only use some EQ here and there to just delete annoying frequencies or just make them fit together. Then I routed them again to a bus. I used the Deep Blue Glitch, just a tape stop, pretty nice effect. So each bar it will make a tape stop and slow down, which is a pretty nice effect in the drop. Then some pre-Q to cut off the low frequencies. Again, a Valhalla room for reverb, and then kickstart once again. This time a little bit heavier sidechaining because there are the chords, so I don't want to have it interfere with my kick and my bass, and of course with my leads. So that's why I chose for a harder sidechain in this case. Alright, next up we have the bass line. I have two kind of bass lines. It's called the mid bass and the bass. Let me first explain the bass. This is the rolling normal bass. Let me search it. Got it right here. As you can see, I cut out all the high frequencies because I didn't need that. Once again, to make sure everything's gone. Then I added the same tape stop effect on my bassline here, and I simply added a sidechain kickstart. What is pretty important is that your kick always go together well with your bassline. So the kick and bass should always be one part. There's one element. Let me just mute that. Okay, always check this double when your kick is going well with your bassline. So make sure that this is the case. Then we have a mid bass to fill up the other bass frequencies. Again, the deep blue glitch, and then just some EQ. And a compression, FabFilter Pro C. Really like this plugin, really good. And then once again, a sidechaining. So my bass lines together with my kick sounds like this. The kick, I pitched it 100 semitones, 100 cents downwards, and I processed it in the following way. So it just boosted the low frequencies, and I cut it off the tops a bit because I found that tick a little bit annoying. Then a really good trick from I think it was Swag who taught me that. He said that on a masterclass he showed me that when you would like to have that more oomph in your kick, the more low-end punch, you just have to take the SSL plugin. You just select your favorite frequency where you want that oomph or that more low-end punch, and then you add just a little bit of dB on it. And to be honest, it really it works. Let me show you. So that's a small trick for you guys as well. Alright, so now together, so the kick together with the chords and the leads, only that sounds like this. Alright, this is the moment where I think, alright, it sounds good, but it needs to be, I feel I miss some elements. That's why it's time to fill up every element. Every frequency in the spectrum. So I added this kind of sound. It's just a silent thing from made by WildVibes, and it's nothing very special. It just makes your drop kind of more full. So together. Alright, then I will start looking for more elements, more rides and stuff. So more drums in the drop as well. Always, just a small tip as well. When you have, for example, a hi-hat, always try to cut that low end because you don't need it. It will make a lot of difference in your mix because it will sound muddy if you don't do that. Then I added fills, and these kind of drums are so important to make your song and drop alive. It really gives a go or no go with labels. And of course, I cannot say it enough. Impacts are as well as even as important as creating your lead, for example, because choosing the right impact is so important. And also make sure that your impact always have the low frequencies cut it, because like I said, it will make your mix very muddy if you don't do that. And then of course together with the vocals, the song is really full and stacked like it should be. Right, so this is all without any mastering. So as you can see, alright, so let me explain you the process of how I did my master, because I turned now my master off because my CPU could not handle the recording software and my Ozone plugins. So what I did on my master is I just took the low frequencies, always take them down below 30 Hertz and above 90,000 Hertz. Then I just tweaked it some frequencies what I preferred or what I think would sound nice. Then I had a full expander, just I used that preset, basic and then a full band expander, just to get that a little bit more kinda multi-band compression. Pretty balanced, that was the automation for just giving 5% extra to the drop. G-tune is just for knowing which key your kinda sample is, so I use it a lot. Then we have Ozone. Let's dive into Ozone. I only used the exciter and imager in here. So what I did right here is, so I divided my multiband into 4 bands. So I took the retro knob and I just put them out of 3.4, my mix 40, and right here 3.9 and 39%. I feel that was the best setting to put an exciter in. And imager, I did the settings like this. I just did it based on my feelings and what I thought was needed to add on the song. After that, I took a fab filter tree to give the mix a little bit more of balance while the drop is playing, and some frequencies to give it more control. And then of course just a limiter to limit it off to 0 decibels. So as you can see right here, the ceiling is minus 0.10 dB, so it never goes below, above that range or ceiling. So that's very important. So this was my mastering chain. I really hope you guys enjoyed the masterclass. I think I have showed you guys everything I could show in the project, and I really do hope you have learned something from it and that you can use it in your future project. If there's anything you're hesitating with, or you have any questions, just don't hesitate, and feel free to you can always reach me at my email or on my socials. I will be happy to answer your questions. So I wish you a very good day, and I really hope you learned something extra. Bye bye.